popular creature comfort here, as though many people are prepared for rain, they may have forgotten weatherproof shoes. So keeping your feet dry is a really key component, I think, to keeping morale up. So that would be a good donation as well.
Where would they send those donations?
That is a fantastic question. Allow me to mosey on over to the information station while I fill you in on some other information.
Okay.
The organization here has also apparently established a newspaper, which is called the Occupy Wall Street Journal. Currently, Tegan and Dawn are helping in the distribution of that journal. Additionally, the people here have taken the first page of the New York Times today, and there's a lot of excitement surrounding the media tent because they're actually able to, they're achieving their goals here in a slow but determined fashion, and there's a bit of excitement that rippled through the crowd when they heard that we had taken the first page of New York Times. Pardon. I am at the information station. Give me a second, and I will ask the question about where we can send donations.
Okay.
May I ask a quick question? I'm sorry. Where can we send donations? I'm speaking to a reporter in Pennsylvania, so people will be sending from
on the website. There is a address on the website.
There's apparently a link where you can access the UPS location that is not off the top of the head of the people here, but it is posted on the website. So again, that's Occupy Wall Street, OCCUPYWALLST.org. Additionally, you can find a live feed of what's going on there, since we were unable to establish a video broadcast.
Yeah, I was actually watching some of that yesterday, and some pretty disturbing images, actually, of just, the way that those who are hired to protect and serve end up treating the very society that they are ostensibly there to protect.
Yeah. We haven't, I personally, and I don't think anyone in our crew here yet has observed any violence on behalf of the police department. The majority of the police who are here are in the blue shirt, and as Caleb was mentioning earlier, there seems to be a rift in the department almost. The blue shirted policemen are kind of out here sort of helping people out. Like I said, the guy with the hypothermia, once he was discovered, he was attended to rather rapidly, and I actually felt really good about that. It was a good contrast to the rapidity of our shelter being taken down by the commanders, who are the white shirt policemen. The plaza is, however, surrounded by dozens and dozens of police vehicles, riot vehicles, vans, undercover cars, the standard interceptors, and at the lowest point of the Zuccotti Park, they've actually erected what appears to be the equivalent of a hunting stand. It's a NYPD lookout tower, and it has at least 4 different cameras that are rotatable. It appears there is somebody inside, but there may also be an element of broadcast observation as well, because there doesn't appear to be a way in or out of the station. But every kind of police patrol I have ever seen is here right now, and just from sort of looking around, I would say there's a presence of around 50 police officers at all times. So they do seem sort of removed from the plaza. They're all looking at the plaza. And I know I've spoken to a lot of different people. They do feel kind of uncomfortable and threatened by that. However, I've also talked to people who have tried to get the opinions of an officer, which is an interview we have been unable to secure yet, but we're attempting officer interviews and banker interviews as we're here. But the officer that this other gentleman talked to showed solidarity in what was going on. He was a police officer of a minority group, and someone had said, what do you think about what's going on here? Are you with us or against us? And apparently he had cracked a large and genuine smile and responded, I'm totally with you guys, and I'm not going to do a thing. So that's kind of the situation with the police.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was reading an article, and stop me anytime if there's something going on that we should know about, but reading an article from one of my favorite reporters, Glenn Greenwald, and then I was led to another article talking about what's behind the disdain for the protesters there, and this really seems to be a philosophical or an existential crisis for a lot of people that are knowing this is going on, because right now I know that there are lots of different types of people at your protest, but I think this is a defining moment for a young generation right now, and for those who need this society to make sense, even when it's taking advantage of them. There's an internal defense mechanism, I think, that gets kicked in. So even though the banks might be taking advantage of a friend of ours or all of us, there are some people who need society to make sense so much that they would rather have that corruption so that society still has institutions they've known about their whole life and it works, rather than see that collapse and have to start over. So I think that some people are actually really against what you're doing because you're making society unravel in their mind. What are your thoughts on that?
Before I came up here, I had read a Huffington Post article that was emphasizing that the people who are gathering here are doing so in a peaceful way and are merely looking for a discussion. I have seen a list of demands today. Unfortunately, I only have a picture of it, and I don't have that camera open to that picture right in front of me. But from the 10 demands that were on this paper, they were very clear, broad, and humanist. There wasn't anything that I thought was a bad idea. Now, that's just my opinion, of course, but I feel fairly sensitive to both sides of the situation, just because I like to try and keep an open mind to things. And I believe that the demands being placed on the table here are quite reasonable, and only in the pursuit of an actual equality. Now, equality is debatable, and that's the debate that I was observing on the Huffington Post article. There were many people who were holding the opinion that people who are poor because they're not working hard. Personally, I'm broke. I work very hard, and I have nothing to show for it. One of my friends the other day, I'll use that quote on Facebook that I posted, has been working really hard to support himself and to support his apartment, and his wages began being garnished, and now he's unable to afford his apartment, and he in dismay suggested that he has failed as an adult. And I feel that kind of sentiment is sort of pervasive here among these people. There are obviously a lot of people out here putting a lot of energy and money into this event, and